Whether cutting storm-damaged branches and dead limbs, regulating growth, or shaping a tree for aesthetic purposes, regular trimming is important to promote a healthy, good-looking tree. Here are some basic tips for both techniques and tools. This apple tree has shoots growing along the branches that are robbing the energy from forming buds and in turn fruit. The best tool for nipping off small shoots is a pruning shears. Remove the shoots that are growing straight up, and cut back the shoots that are growing on the insides of the branches. When you cut the shoot, make an angled cut just above the collar, which is the swollen area where the branch meets the trunk. Leaving a short stem protects the tree against disease. The process of trimming shoots along the branches of this apple tree applies to other species of trees as well. Cutting away excess shoots opens the tree to light and air and concentrates the energy of the sap to productive branches to bear flowers and fruits. For each temperate region, different species of trees have optimum times to prune shoots. With fruit trees, the greater the proportion of excess shoots you remove, the more vigorous will be the following year's growth. Let's move on to a cherry tree for another tip. For trees growing out in fields, keep the foot of the trunk free from brush and weeds. If the tree is in a landscaped area, don't use a weed whacker to clear undergrowth, for the plastic cord will damage the trunk. Either pull the weeds by hand or wrap the foot of the trunk to protect it. Use a pruning shears to cut away unproductive shoots. This cherry has shoots growing between the productive branches, and they need to be removed. Moving to the branches, remove any shoots either growing towards the trunk of the tree or along the inner parts of the branches. Cut at an angle, just above the collar of the joint. Regular pruning of excess shoots along the trunk and branches creates evenly spaced branches and a strong, symmetrical tree, ready for next year's fruit. Now let's move on to a maple tree. This is an older tree that has branches that have died either from damage or disease. The best tool for trimming a tall tree from a safe position on the ground is a pole saw. The length of the pole saw can be adjusted comfortably to reach high branches safely from the ground. Many pole saws also feature a lopper or shears. You pull on a rope from below. This in turn pulls down the cutting blade, shearing off the branch. Position yourself safely back and to the side of the dead branch. Rest the blade of the pole outside the collar of the branch. Using a sawing motion, carefully cut through the branch. Remove all diseased and damaged branches and branches that have distressed leaves from the tree. Be sure to stand back and to one side to protect yourself from the falling branch. If branches in question are too high, consider hiring a professional. It is never a good idea to trim branches from a ladder. The pole saw loppers can be used to remove branches up to about 1.5 inches in diameter. Place the lopper over the branch and pull the cord. With the loppers, you can move quickly through the tree, removing ingrowing shoots from the branches. This beautiful magnolia needs a little attention as well. We spotted a dead branch that needs removal. A buck or bow saw is a good tool for cutting away dead branches. These fast-cutting saws make fast work of slash cutting or removal of deadwood from trees. A more maneuverable saw for mid-sized branches is the folding handsaw. Make 2 cuts with the handsaw. First, one horizontal cut from the bottom to stop the tearing of bark when the branch breaks off, and then one horizontal cut just above it from the top to cut the branch. These folding handsaws make short work of trimming mid-sized limbs from the ground. Working with the correct tools to prune away excess shoots and dead or diseased branches will result in trees that maintain a strong and healthy appearance, ready to flourish in the years ahead.